What happens when a liar tells the truth? Lucian made one clean promise before the voyage began. He would lie about everything else. With 50 curious companions, he pushed a tall ship past the last known pillars and into the Western Ocean. For a day the sea was gentle. On the next dawn, wind erased the horizon, and black water climbed the hull. 79 days vanished inside that storm. When the sun finally broke through, an island of mountains waited in the sudden calm. Lucian kissed the ground, rose shaking, and led 20 men into the trees. The trees answered with marvels. A bronze pillar stood ahead, half worn, claiming Hercules and Bacchus had reached this place. Beyond it ran a river as red as wine, wide enough to bear a ship. Its source was stranger still. Great vines rose from the earth, and pure wine dripped from their roots into the current. Across the bank grew vine women with bare arms, leaf-dark hair, and hands that reached for the travelers. Their kisses made men stagger. 2 companions locked in their embrace began to root into the soil, and the rest fled back to the beach. At noon, a whirlwind found the ship before their breathing slowed. That same violent wind carried the ship upward. For 7 days it held them above the sea until a bright, round country appeared in the air. The ruler there was Endymion, a stolen sleeper who now wore a moon king's crown. He welcomed Lucian, then pointed toward a war already rising against Phaethon of the Sun. Armies gathered on giant vultures marching webs, and creatures too absurd to fear until they moved. The clash rolled across the sky. Victory turned twice, trophies fell, and a wall of cloud shut light from the moon itself. At last the kings chose peace, prisoners were returned, and Endymion sent the sailors back towards the sea. Salt spray never tasted sweeter. The men laughed, swam beside the hull, and believed the worst was finally behind them. On the 3rd sunrise, a whale larger than any city opened its pale teeth around the ship. The vessel slid through the dark throat and landed whole in a world of shadows. Inside the creature stood hills, trees, a clear fountain, and Cyntharus calmly watering a garden. He had lived there for 27 years and buried a whole crew beneath the whale's ribs. Lucian listened by firelight, then helped arm the castaways against the hostile tribes deeper in the flesh. Together they drove the creatures back and won a brief kingdom no map could hold. But prison walls still pulsed around them with every slow breath. That breathing became their clock. When digging through the hide failed, Lucian and Cyntharus stacked timber and set the inner woods alight. For days the smoke drifted upward through darkness. When the dying whale opened its jaws, they braced them wide, lowered the ship by its teeth, and touched open water again. Cold wind froze the sea into glass, then broke beneath them into a white ocean of milk. An island of cheese rose from that pale water, and vines there dripped milk instead of wine. Beyond it, a sweeter wonder arrived. A distant shore breathed roses and laurel across the waves, and every tired face lifted towards the scent. They followed the fragrance into a harbor ringed with clear rivers, meadows, and trees that sang when the breeze moved. Guards bound them gently with rose garlands and led them before Rhadamanthus, judge of the blessed. He heard Lucian's impossible voyage and gave the living sailors 7 months among heroes. The city shone with gold, cinnamon gates, warm dew baths, and fields where bread grew already baked. There Lucian saw Achilles at ease, Socrates arguing, and Homer singing beside Ulysses. After storms, battles, and a darkness shaped like a mouth, even laughter sounded holy there. The strangest lie in all his journey was this quiet gift. At the edge of that bright meadow, Lucian finally stood still and let the wind tell the rest.